Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and happy Easter. On today's video, I'm going to provide you with an update from my 16-week journey on the carnivore diet. If that sounds interesting, please stick around. Welcome back to the channel. As I indicated on today's video, which is being filmed on Easter Sunday, 2024. So happy Easter for those that celebrate. And given that this is the time for rebirth, I thought it's also a great time to talk about the benefits from carnivore and the carnivore lifestyle. So this week I'll start with a quick update on the numbers. So first, my weight this week was 189.6. That's actually up from 188.0, so I gained 1.6 pounds this week. But I normally have a very sedentary lifestyle, and this week, given that it's the beginning of spring and spring house cleaning and stuff, I was out pressure washing the driveway, and I was up house washing or roof washing the roof of my house. And so I spent multiple days this past week doing activities that I don't traditionally do. Not that it necessarily built muscle, but it's possible I gained a little bit of muscle weight during the week. That being said, when I looked at my fasting blood glucose numbers, my 7-day numbers was 107 this week. That's down from 110 last week. My 14-day trend is at 109, which is up 1 point from 108. My 30 days hold steady at 109. And my 90-day is down 1 point to 110 from 111. My A1C this week came in at 5.8, so I take it approximately every 2 weeks, so that's pretty much holding steady. My ketones were 0.7, which is the same as last week, but my GKI went up from 8.6 to 9.4, so that means that I'm no longer in GKI ketosis, even though the 0.7 on ketones would indicate that I'd be in light nutritional ketosis. So for issues this week, my skin condition has gotten worse. So I've had a much worse breakout with my rosacea flare. Went and saw a dermatologist this past week, and in fact, had a liquid nitrogen spot on my cheek that was sprayed to get rid of a supposedly precancerous growth. And then they took a biopsy, which I'll show a picture of in a minute, but ended up getting a biopsy of the skin rash I've been complaining about. And I'll get the biopsy results back within about 2 weeks. But they took enough out that it required 2 sutures to stitch me back up to stop the bleeding. So that's no fun. But I would really like to know what it is. And, they hypothesized like 4 different things that it could be. So I'd like to find out what it really is and then get a recommendation on what I can do to possibly get rid of it. Because, it's been annoying me for the last 14 weeks. And, I'd like to not have this continue to annoy me. Otherwise, this week's been, really good. Obviously had plenty of energy to go do a lot of these activities that I've been doing around the house. One thing, just as a point of reference that I find interesting is, and I'll show you a thing here, but today the pollen count in the Atlanta metro area is the highest. It's in the extremely high range. And today specifically, it's the highest it's been for the entire month of March. Typically this time of the year, I am living on like Claritin D and other, I'll call them antihistamines or whatever, like for my allergies. So tree pollen is really heavy now. There's a little bit of weed pollen, not so much on mold or grass. But I've only had to use allergy meds like 2 days, I think, out of the last 30. which again for me is amazing. So I'm not sure that I can attribute it to the carnivore diet, but I'm going to. so I'm just going to say that my allergies have been, against at least the pollen, have been much better this year. So a big plus on that. As far as food goes, because today's Easter, the week running up to Easter, they typically put on some sales on a variety of meats, and that was the case this week. So Publix had ribeye roasts for $9.99 a pound. Aldi had them for $8.99 a pound, and Kroger had them for $6.99 a pound, bone in. So I ended up going and getting one roast from Aldi, and I got two roasts, which was the limit you could get from Kroger. And so I deboned the roast, saved the bones that I'll make bone broth out of, and then I'll show you. I sliced them down, and you can see. I don't know how many I got, but you'll see in the picture. So I've got a variety of ribeye steaks now, anywhere from about 15 ounce thickness, 15 ounce to up to about 22 ounce, depending on how thick I was cutting them. I was trying to make them consistent, but obviously didn't achieve that goal. But anyway, I now got a decent supply of ribeyes to hold me over for the next couple of weeks to supplement the other meat that I have, whether that's hamburger or New York strip, which I also dehydrated some New York strip for snacks, and then also some top sirloin. And then for Easter dinner, I decided that we would do snow crab. So I thawed out 6 pounds of snow crab, which I'll quickly show you a picture of, and that become the main protein with butter that I'll have for dinner tonight, along with my wife, and she'll have some vegetables to go with it. I was able to have one day this week. I did do a little bit of diced grilled onions. I did have 1 cup of broccoli on one day this week, and I had 2 mushroom caps grilled on one day this week, and none of the 3 of those had any impact on the way I felt, or gave me any noticeable negative symptoms. I purchased 1 red bell pepper, which whenever I make the next group of hamburger on the grill, I will char the red pepper and dice that up, and I'll have that along with my hamburger to see if I get any problems from that. But so far, the only thing that I seem to have had any problem with was asparagus, which gave me gas. I do have 1 more batch in the fridge, and probably one day over the next week I'll try it one more time just to see whether it does end up giving me any kind of bloating, gas, or any stomach issues at all. If it does, it'll go on my do not eat ever again list. But otherwise, I am trying to add back just very small amounts of vegetables into my diet for just some variety, more so than anything else. I just want a different texture. I want a different thing. I know you guys, will mostly disagree with me, but I get sick of eating, whether it's ribeyes or New York strips or whatever, just eating steak every single night, or throwing in a pork, some pork here or there, or some chicken. It's still, without having something as a side dish, for me, I don't know, mentally, I just need something else. And now I'm on the, 112th day on carnivore. And, I've been, there's been 0 cheat days. I've gone on trips. I've made sure to take stuff with me. I'm doing everything that I can to stay, clean on the carnivore journey. And all I'm looking for is some very small additions back that I can just add for color, texture, flavor, to go as a side dish, if you will. No more than 1 cup to go along with, and by the way, not not at every meal. Like I only either do it at lunch or I'll do it at dinner, but there'll only be like at max of 1 cup of something in a given day, and usually there's only 2 or 3 things during the week that I want to be able to try just to kind of mix things up a little bit, so long as it doesn't, cause me problems, which I think will make the journey for me more palatable for a longer duration. So anyway, that's this week's update. If you have any questions, concerns, please drop them in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. And again, happy Easter, and I'll talk to you next week.